Hello, I'm Bluebird819 and welcome to another one of my how-to Minecraft videos. Today we're going to be looking at enemies in the Overworld. The Overworld is basically the place where you are most of the time in Minecraft. First thing you want to do when you're playing with enemies is disable autosave. So if you go to the option above exit game on the Xbox One version and then click on either disable autosave, or if the game says save game, then you've already got autosave disabled. The enemies tend to come out at night, and as you can see on the clock, the yellow bit goes all the way down and the other bit comes all the way up when it's night time. So you can easily tell when it's night time by making a clock, or you can just look outside and see if it's light or dark. Enemies will also come out in bad weather or shaded areas, so they can come out during the daytime when it's not bad weather, if you're in like a really shaded area or in caves and stuff. To go and visit the enemies, you want to take a decent sword with some enchantments, an arrow, a load of arrows and a bow with some enchantments, and also you need some form of food. Bread's the easiest food to have because you can just make it with tons and tons of wheat, but you basically want armour. For the Overworld enemies, you don't actually need very good armour, but as long as you've got some to protect you, it should be fine. Make sure your health bars stay up and try and keep your make sure your food bars stay up and always try and keep your health bars up. As you can see in my greenhouse, I'm growing quite a lot of food for taking on the enemies. I have a lot of wheat and a lot of carrots and potatoes and things, because if you cook potatoes, you get jacket potatoes. They give you back quite a lot of health, and obviously bread gives you back 3 or 4 bars of your food bar. So it's worth having a little farming area so you can collect ingredients to make food for when you run out, especially if you're going to be fighting enemies all the way through your game. There are several different kinds of enemies in the Overworld. You get different kinds of spiders. There's a cave spider that you generally find in caves. There's a normal spider that will roam around on top of the ground and has got big bright red eyes. There's chicken jockeys and spider jockeys. They're like little midget things that run around and chase you. They're quite hard to kill because they're really small. They're only like 1 block high. Most of the enemies are 2 blocks high apart from the Endermen. Creepers will explode if they get too close to you. They're my probably most hated enemy, but if you've got a bow and arrow, you can take them out with a bow and arrow, because you just don't want to let them get too close to you and explode, or you'll spend your whole time fixing your map. The iron golems I made to protect some of my area, so I've got 4 or 5 iron golems now, and they're all around my castle and my bungalow to protect my buildings from enemies. I think the way the one got all the way over there was because he was chasing too many enemies over here. There's a creeper now, so I'm going to get him with my bow whilst he's quite far away. If you hold left trigger on the bow, then the bow will charge up and you'll get a more powerful shot from it. But basically you don't want the creeper to explode near you, or he'll just totally destroy anything that's around. At the moment we're in a big open bit of ground, but as you can see just in front of me here, a creeper blew up and he's taken a big hole in the ground, so at some point when I need to build on that bit, I'll need to go and patch that up. There's another creeper up there. Let's see if we can get him before we move on. As you kill enemies, they do drop things, and they'll also give you XP. Creepers will drop gunpowder, and you get, I think you get 3 XP from most enemies. Spiders you might only get 2. You know, the little glowy bubbles that come out of things when you get XP. So there's a couple of skeletons here. I'd need to be much farther away to get the achievement for hitting the skeleton from 50 metres with a bow, but I've already got the achievement. But basically, because then hits can knock you back, you're better off trying to get these from a distance as well. Once you've killed the enemies, you can go up and collect anything they might have dropped. Spiders will drop spiders' eyes and string. Zombies like this one in front of me will drop rotten flesh. Skeletons will drop sometimes bows, but most of the time arrows and bones. And the bones you can use to tame wolves to become your dogs. Quite often, if an enemy's wearing armour, they'll drop it when you hit them and they die. Another kind of enemy that you can get is a zombie villager, which is aggressive towards you initially, but you have the option to cure a zombie villager, and I believe there's also an achievement for it. To cure the zombie villager, you just need to give them a potion of weakness or splash it on them, and then they'll be cured. There's also withers and wither skeletons. The withers you summon yourself, but you do need wither skeleton skulls to be able to do this, so you need to get those from the nether, and as I've said, I'll do another video about the nether and the endermen, because quite clearly there's not a single enderman on my map when I decided to film this video, although I've had at least 5 or 6 every Minecraft night since I started playing this map, so it's typical that they won't be here for this occasion. But keep an eye out for my Enderman video, and remember that as long as you've got food, a bow, some arrows and a sword, and some at least iron armour, you should be able to cope with the enemies in the overworld quite easily. They're not that tough. The ones in the nether you might want some slightly better armour for. And again, you want to take your bow, and you can't take your dogs into the nether, but I've had about 6 of my dogs sucked into the nether via the portal because I didn't have a fence around it, and they were sat in my castle in the sit position and all of a sudden they just got sucked into my nether portal, so I went in there to see what was going on, and my dogs were the other side and I couldn't get them to come back to the real world, so eventually I had to let them go and leave them in the nether and go and obtain some more. But you can't, as far as I'm aware, you can't actually take your dogs into the nether with you. Every time I've tried, I've not got anywhere, so it's not tricky playing with enemies on. You get an awful lot of XP if you do play with them on, because then you get XP for mining, XP for killing enemies, and you also get the spoils that they drop. One enemy I haven't mentioned so far is a witch, and the witch can be quite evil because they can poison you, and it will literally just drain your health away from you, and you'll be left dying. That's why at the beginning of the video I said disable autosave, because all it takes is a couple of accidents or a run-in with the witch and you're done. Now, thanks to that creeper, I have a massive big hole right next to my castle, so I'm going to go and fill this in and let my dogs eat that skeleton. But thank you very much for watching my video. Please like and subscribe, and keep an eye out for the Enderman and the Nether enemy videos that I'll be making.